And we are live on YouTube.
Okay, let's, this is Todd Moore. Let's call the public session of the OpenJS Foundation Board to order.
Great. Thank you, Todd. All right. Hello, everybody. It's been a little while since we've had a public board meeting here due to a substantial amount of business that the board has been handling. So we're glad to be here. On the screen right now is the OpenJS Foundation board directory. And got the agenda up here. So first thing we'll do is we'll approve minutes from the last public session of the board meeting. Give an update on the upcoming event. Give an update on the certification, and have an update from the CPC, and then one or two things on the transition, some final things on the merger between JSF and Node Foundation, and then we'll have a marketing update. Does anybody have any changes to the agenda? Okay. First order of business is to approve the October 25th, 2019 board meeting minutes. These have been distributed out to the board members. Does anybody have any comment? Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion to adopt these meeting minutes?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Thank you, Todd. Do we have a second? Thank you, Michael.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstains? All right, motion carries. Thank you, everybody. First up, an update on the event. So, Robin, would you like to give an update on the 2020 event in June?
Hi, everyone. Yes, we have been working across the communities and thinking about how we're going to rebrand the event now that our foundation is growing. And so after much brainstorming and discussion, we are officially naming our global conference OpenJS World 2020. It will be held June 23rd and 24th in Austin. We are co-locating with the Linux Foundation Open Source Summit North America. However, we will be an independent standalone event. And stay tuned for discounts. So if you would like to attend both conferences that week, there'll be opportunities to do so.
Would also note that sponsorships are available. You can reach out to us, operations@openjsf.org, or go to the website. And one of the things to note is that for members of the OpenJS Foundation, there are some discounts available on the sponsorships themselves as well. In addition, the CFP is open, so please do submit. That's open until about the third week of February, so please don't wait. Next up, I'd like to give an update on the certification program. As hopefully everybody knows, at the tail end of last year, we launched the 2 Node.js certification exams. One is for services developers, the other is for application developers. These exams are open, they are launched, they are available, you can register and you can take them. We've had over 600 people who've registered for the exams since October, and 30 people so far, over 30 people, have successfully passed the exam, one exam or the other, and become certified. And the link on the screen here is where you can find more information about it, you know, how to register for it, what it covers, and so forth. And just, you know, this has been a long and involved process in getting this done, and just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to NodeSource and Nearform. They've both been very actively involved in the process, both in developing the exams, but also maintaining the content after the launch.
Yeah, and one quick update, this is Robin. We're also looking for global regional partners to help us scale out a scholarship program. So if you have interest, please contact me. And also looking at translating the exam in the coming months and years.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, the CPC update. We have our 2 CPC directors here. Michael or Chris, would you like to take us through this slide?
Sure, I can jump in. So we haven't had any new project applications since the last meeting. We are continuing the process of onboarding existing projects, and I'm not currently aware of any blockers or concerns to report back to the board on that front. Some of the most active discussions on the CPC front have been around the code of conduct proposal, where we're spinning up a team to see if we can get agreement on sort of an MVP so we can get something landed, and then separate out discussions on, how that might extend to cover greater collaboration across the projects. And then secondly, on the travel fund, trying to get the initial governance and launch of the travel fund going at the OpenJSF level. One of the issues that had come up was just a little bit of concern over the budget in terms of moving to a larger group of projects who would be using that travel fund. We did talk about that as a board in the earlier portion of the meeting, and confirmed that the budget, we believe the budget, which was $60K last year, is sufficient to cover that, because it wasn't, it was only, say, half used last year. But have also, agreed to this statement, which basically says, that we think it's the right amount for the budget based on what we expect. But if it turns out that the program is more successful than we budgeted for, we are committed to, looking at an appropriate budget to cover the needs that do come in.
Any questions from the rest of the board on this, or any further discussion?
I think I'd just like to reiterate, from the board's perspective, this is an incredibly important program to us. We want to see it be very successful, and this is something we take very seriously. So this is, hopefully a piece that the community will take to heart, and we'll make good progress on. So thank you for bringing it forward from the CPC.
Okay, and so that's the update that we had on the CPC side for this time.
All right, very quickly, transition update. Just two things that I wanted to mention here. One is that the CLA is ready to use. If you have questions or want to start to adopt this, you can reach out to operations@openjsf.org to get started. We will help you get onboarded into the CLA tool and make sure that your organization is set up properly. The second thing is that this is one of the last remaining items. We've decommissioned the websites from JSF and foundation.nodejs.org. Both of these now forward on to openjsf.org, and that is just to make sure that we don't have any confusion as people hit those old sites. We do have the content archived, so if there's something on there that you need to refer back to and you can't find it, you can again reach out to me, operations@openjsf.org, and we can go get that for you. And then finally, let's have a marketing update. So Rachel, would you be able to take us through?
Absolutely. So first things first is here's our blog metrics. We're getting a steady stream of content. AMAs are performing really well on YouTube. I kind of wanted to point everybody over to the right-hand side. Our December views for the blog are one of our higher months. If everybody kind of goes back to October, you'll see that we had a huge spike, and a lot of that was due to interest around the certification. However, if you go from September to November, you'll see that we are continuing to see a ton of momentum on the blog. So next slide, unless there are other questions. Here is website metrics from November to January. I know that we haven't had a chance to showcase some of this stuff over the past couple of months, so doing just a longer snapshot here. And things are looking really great. We got a nice bump in traffic around the event, which is always great to see. If there are no questions, we can move along. And then social media, I did the same thing for Twitter. Lots of traffic and lots of engagement around our event, which is always great to see. November and December, we were up a little bit. And then, with the holidays and all of that, we sort of went back down to, normal, basically normal performance. So if there are no questions, we can move along. Both LinkedIn, here's some LinkedIn and YouTube metrics. We just continue to grow our LinkedIn presence. We're doing pretty well on engagement and followers. I did want to point out that our YouTube metrics are doing really great in comparison to previous performance. And I attribute that to our AMAs and some other behind the scenes Node.js content that we were able to gather at the event. So we'll just continue to work on our video strategy and, continue to engage with the community on, using that channel. It seems to be working well, so we'll just keep going with it. Are there any questions?
No, I would just comment, if you were not in Montreal, there's some really fun short interviews, 1 to 4 minutes from behind the scenes that Rachel captured from some of the attendees. So if you missed it, check out the YouTube channel.
Another quick plug that I'll give is we are doing monthly OpenJS Foundation Ask Me Anything with projects. And so the next one is going to be on February 5th with jQuery. And so, we would love to have everybody's participation on that. And if you're not able to catch it live, we will be posting it on YouTube. So if there's no other comments, we can go to the next slide. So I just wanted to walk through some metrics and some wins from Node+JS Interactive in Montreal in December. We did land around 520 attendees. This is just a breakdown of, company participation and sort of, basically just who was there. So we can move to the next slide and get into some of the marketing stuff. Above is a word cloud, and it just kind of shows just some of the top things that were tweeted about, in conjunction with our Twitter handle. Below, you'll see just straight up Twitter metrics around how we performed with engagement over the week. And we were up 155% over the previous week. And then in looking at last year's performance, we were actually up over 188%. So that's great traction with the OpenJS handle on Twitter. Any questions on that? Great, we can move along. We did have some news come out of some news and content come out of the event. We were super happy to welcome Electron as an incubating project. We did get some good media coverage on that. To Robin's point previously, we did get some behind the scenes footage. That's a playlist on our OpenJS YouTube account, so please go check that out. Also, all of our sessions and keynotes were recorded. So if you weren't able to make the event, we did capture that for everybody. And then here are just some blogs. So obviously we promoted Electron. We did have a day 1 and a day 2 recap. And then also thanks to Google for contributing a blog in advance of the event. Are there any questions on this slide? Excellent. And this is just a recap for the next coming up event. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because Robin did an awesome job in covering it, but we hope to see everybody in Austin in June. And that does it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Does anybody have any questions for her?
That's great, Rachel, and thank you from the board. We really do look forward to seeing you in Austin, especially since I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, and that brings us to the end of our content. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to discuss today? Okay, with that, Todd, would you like to call the meeting to a close?
Okay, well, again, thank you to the staff for pulling everything together and keeping us on track. And all of you who came and joined us, thank you. And our new projects, hopefully anything you need, you bring your requirements forward. We're happy to help and work with you all as well as our existing projects. And let's call this session of the OpenJS Foundation Board to a close. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, next time.
Everyone.